Listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve. Got a little bit of a cold today, so if you sniffles, voice, that's kind of the reason. But anyways, in this unimportant review, we have the SH MonsterArts Godzilla 2023. Now, you may be asking yourself, why am I reviewing this again? Well, the title probably would have been a clear indicator of this, but this is a bootleg. This is a knockoff. Got this guy off of AliExpress. If I don't forget, there'll be a link somewhere down there if you guys would like to pick this up after the review. But decided to grab this because I've been wanting to do some customs of this particular character, and we always say on the channel, bootlegs are like the best thing if you plan on messing with it, right? Because they're already not going to be generally not even near as good as the original is, but for the price, they're fun to mess with, they're fun to paint with, and especially if you're going to be modifying them in any ways, these are like usually the perfect like base to go off of. So, got this off AliExpress, decided to pay a little bit extra to get the box with it, which I'm super stoked. I paid like $2 extra, and yeah, good box. At least the figure wasn't nearly as damaged. We did an unboxing video, and when it came in, the dorsal spines were like squished and bent all to the side, which I used a heat gun, so I got them a bit straighter. There's a couple that are still kind of fuzzed up. We'll get to them. When I go to mess around with it, I'll fix them. But for the sake of the review, it's nice to have at least like some indication of the way it came in. But yeah, there also was an unboxing video, so you want to see my initial reactions. It's on the channel. We do generally been doing the unboxings live. Also with these videos, they are unedited and go up on our Patreon in advance. So if you guys like to help donate, support the channel, link in the description. Anyways, you guys seen the box? It kind of looks like the MonsterArts. It's mostly the same, but you don't have like the stickers, like the quality control stickers, which are a big indication that this is already a bootleg, let alone the box is utterly destroyed. Also, just like the quality of the printing, because this is just like all one picture, which generally wouldn't be the way it would be on the MonsterArts. I'm honestly surprised that they got the clear plastic G on the back, because I be honest, it's kind of going above and beyond for me for even that. So for the most part, if you plan on buying this at Ali, you could probably forego getting the box, but it's almost kind of nice because it's just added protection, because for the most part, it's just going to be yellow duct tape shipper with the plastic container, so at least it gives you like some added protection. But anyways, dropping that on the floor here, we have the bootleg. I also grabbed the OG, the official release, which I know some people are going to be watching this video to be like, should I buy buying this guy instead of this guy because I want to save some money? Which I never support that. For the most part, you should always buy the official release. But like I said, for customization purposes, I don't mind these nearly as much. But you can already kind of tell just looking at the original details. Like, God, look at those faces. Like, I know, like, people were complaining about this when it came out, that his face isn't quite movie accurate, which I give it to you. But I never thought it was bad. Personally, I still dig the face. With mine, I decided to touch up the eyes, so mine is generally going to be slightly better than some of the others that you'd see. Because I repainted those and went over the teeth like slightly just to make them look a little bit nicer. And then we got this. Which I love that his like upper teeth are just one solid section. It's great. It kind of looks like he's wearing a mouth guard. He's ready to get punched in the face. They didn't even bother to paint it, is how amazing that is. Also gotta shift the lighting behind me just ever so slightly, so you guys can see it a little bit better. The eyes, I think, are painted. It looks like there's like a brown over the pupil on that side. But it's really hard to distinguish anything other than just brown in the eye region. Same with the lower jaw. There is some detailing for the teeth, But the way they painted it, they just did like one strip underneath the teeth. So you have the teeth, and then the lips are painted in the bone color. This side's a little bit better. You know what? I wonder if the tongue's still articulated on this thing. I would assume... Nope, that is glued in. 100% glued in. Or if it's supposed to move, it ain't moving on this one. Next on the agenda, plastic quality. This kind of feels like soft plastic. Sort of like a NECA. Like the old NECA Godzillas. Like it's got a little bit of give to it. While with the MonsterArts, it's fairly hard plastic. Which, it's like... It's one of those weird things. Because I almost kind of like this. Just because for the spines here, they got a lot more flex. So I don't have to worry about these breaking. Which I kind of dig. But it feels cheaper. Like significantly cheaper. Like when you pick one of these up, it's like hard edges, feels crisp, and like this just feels like it's expensive. This, not so much. I almost want to say it kind of reminds me of like a Super 7 in a way, but then even that is kind of a bash on them. And the coloring, he's definitely a lot more green. It looks like it's pretty much green plastic, and then they did some poopy brown over top of it. It's like the tail looks like one giant turd in terms of coloring. He's got a little bit on the feet. Although it's weird because he's green, but then you can see some black. So it makes me think that the rubber might be darker, and then they just painted it this like pea green. Which is just, it's an odd touch. He's also got a bit of a shine to him going on. And there's a little bit of poopy brown on the elbows. He's got it all along the back here. Like the coloring on this thing is horrendous. Even on the feet, you get some blacks, you get some of the browns there. Nothing really going on with the nails. I just love the... Jeez, oh criminy, what is my child screaming about up there? She's excited. Something. But I do dig that there's just this hard cutoff where it's just looks like one giant turd with some spikes on it. Some semblance of green, and then back to just like he's just been rolling around in the mud all over the top there. With the detailing, though, it's not bad. It's not as crisp as it is on the MonsterArts, of course, because they probably took this figure and then did a mold over top of this figure, and that's what we got here. Shoulder, I need you to get back on until we get to the articulation point. I would greatly appreciate it. So, it's not bad. You lose a little bit of detailing on the spines, of course, but everything else is... It's got enough there that if you spend a little bit of time dry brushing it, it would definitely still make the detailing pop really well. Where it tends to hurt is around the jointed sections. The hands definitely could have used a little bit more loving. And then this face especially, you lose a lot of detailing on the face. Now, there's a bunch of people that make 3D printed heads, so... If you want something that looks nicer, you do have options if you wanted to swap it out. Again, customizing. It's a great option. My only concern with that is because those heads are a lot more high res than what we got going on here. They tend to stand out a lot more. So it's weird. Like, I know for my purposes, I'm still going to use this head. I'm probably just going to carve the teeth out a little bit. But for the most part, it kind of, look like he's already banged up, is sort of in its favor. But yeah, you can see just between the detailing on these guys. Like the legs especially, you see that this is a lot more rounded looking than what you got in the MonsterArts here. It's got more paint on it. I guess that's one bonus. It's almost the one negative of the MonsterArts is it could have used more browns. It's definitely a bit on the darker side, but I kind of like it. Like, for me, this kind of seems more like when you first see him in, like, the water scenes. More so than when he's, like, trudging around on land, where it's got a lot more of, like, that brown, orangish overcast. Then for his articulation, as you can see, the tail doesn't really hold a pose. At least it stays on. This part sort of does its thing, but the weight of the tail kind of sinks right around here, so it's got that going for it. But not too bad in the movement department. This part likes to pop off real easy, and I don't know why there's so much cake, like baby powder dust on this joint. Honestly, it kind of looks like they added some glue to it just to kind of add some thickness to it. But it didn't really quite take. There's also some weird, like, oil right here. I still haven't washed this guy since we got him in. So he's got a little bit of wetness there in the middle section. But for the most part, it's got the same range of motion. It's just stuff likes to pop off a lot easier, like the jaw. I still don't think it's quite in there right. But if I have it popped in, it doesn't want to close. So then when you open it, it just kind of flops around all over the place again. Arms move around decently. As you see, this arm doesn't like to stay in at all. So you can pop it in, you can kind of move it, but you gotta adjust and be pushing into the top shoulder for it to not pop back out. Waist, not too bad. Just gotta be careful with the spines, because even though they are softer, I still would worry about them bumping into each other. But solid range there. Actually, I was just thinking about that, because I was like, does this actually have the separate piece there? But it does. I don't know why it wouldn't. Legs go in and out. Solid forward, solid back. Bend at the knees. You can rotate them. I like that they still kept the articulated toes. I could almost see them just making a mold of the foot. And just having this, like, weird fused gap thing going on here. I'm almost surprised that they gave this to us for this particular figure. But anyways, overall, I think it's not the worst bootleg I've ever seen. Like, there's that NECA 2014 we got, and that thing was pretty horrendous. But I definitely gotten some MonsterArts ones previously that have been a little bit better. I'd say the Figma bootlegs were better than this than we've gotten before too. Like, those are like, the paint could be a little off, but at least like the details still sort of there. While on this guy, you lose quite a bit of it, especially in key parts that kind of hurt it. So again, only really recommend picking up this guy if you plan on doing any customization to it. So if you're planning on, like, you want to, like, make it a Spitfire version, or you're going to be messing with the head anyways, or kind of what I want to do is I want to do the final battle scene where when he comes up from the water from being decompressed and he's got, like, the cracks and his eyes are, like, dead fish bulging, and then with the spines. That's what I want to do. So I was going to be heavily modifying it. So this is perfect for me. But if you want an actual, like, good representation, the MonsterArts I would still say is the superior one. I would always recommend getting the MonsterArts. Or if you want to save some money, get the Super 7. Granted, that one still probably needs a little bit of paint anyways to get near to perfection. But I think if you're going to save and you don't mind having a little bit of dumbed downness to the figure, that's the way to go over this thing. But again, I'll have a link if you guys are interested. The Super 7 you can pick up on Entertainment Earth. Also, link in the description if you guys like to help support the channel that way. I know Calcus is beginning some MonsterArts on their websites, and I don't think they have the Minus One though. But either the ones down in the description you could check out anyways. If you're picking up some Hayas, like a script for Calcus, you can save 6% off your order code SteveCalcus at checkout. But anyways, see you guys in the next video. Oh, yeah, help us defeat those Kaijus by hitting that like button. Subscribe, become a Ranger today. We also got Instagram, Patreon, TikTok, Facebook. Guys, like keep up the day with you know, doing it. Greatly would appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.